Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on understanding some of the manipulation tactics of a malignant narcissist as well as a psychopathic abuser. And that is of being baited, basically being set up, being sussed out or scoped out for your vulnerability, your weakness, or your propensity to being targeted and preyed upon by this individual. As we know, with a malignant narcissist, covert narcissist, or a psychopathic individual, these people tend to present with a high degree of self-importance, of superiority, of the I am better than thou syndrome, basically, for lack of a better putting it in a nutshell. And you know, we don't want to get like super clinical about it, but it's really understanding that these people operate on a day-to-day basis with the understanding that they are God's gift to the world. They are better than, superior, and more important than others. And they tend to couple this together with a lack of empathy, which means they really don't have the ability to find important, listen to, find meaningful, or resonate, or kind of become aware of the needs, feelings, wishes, and desires of another person. So when you put this together, you get a cocktail basically that is stirred by a baiting technique. A baiting technique basically means that the individual is going to try to get you to latch onto, become hooked to, or really sort of see where your vulnerability is, where your weakness is, and then use that almost like a stamp book and setting these up so that they're trying to kind of see what your weaknesses are, see what your vulnerabilities are, and then turn it around and use it against you. Find out what it is that you find attractive, endearing, or kind of, you know, a basic custom fit to your needs. In other words, you know, they'll very quickly determine what needs you have to be treated as a man, a woman, to be taken out to dinner, to movies, to have them drive you. I mean, they'll figure out very quickly what it is that you need, but furthermore, they will then use this as a way to bait or exploit you. And to furthermore get you to be very reactive or very addicted is the issue. And really, people become really so forlorn that they really do become almost addicted to these people, or addicted to pleasing them, addicted to relating to them, addicted to resonating with them as the one and only, so that their world is kind of like hopping around and jumping around them, their perception, their approval, and they tend to fall prey to appearances. People then tend to become baited, and they, you know, by the appearances. And my suggestion to you is, don't take the bait. Don't take the comments that launch you into feeling less than. Don't take the comments that make you feel reactive to. Don't take the baiting of appearances that they are better than. It is really all a show, a sham, and it's really because you're too caught up in their perception with which they are trying to get you caught up into. And I would very much encourage you to see this presence of being baited, and to really learn to become aware of it, and then learn to get some control over your perception. And so see it how it plays out, see how the pieces come together, and see how the things that they will do to try to, you know, maneuver their body, or the things that they say, you know, the attack on the things that you love, the things that you find interesting or fascinating. They'll quickly find a place for sardonic or sarcastic humor, or belittle you and make fun of you for wanting or desiring to do, be, or have these things. And even though this is the real you, it's, you know, what you're really about, or, you know, you're crying out to be heard or understood, they're going to really make you feel as if you're out of base, you're out of whack, you're, you know, you're in the wrong, you shouldn't be so sensitive. They'll cause you to have a negative assessment of yourself, and really sort of muffle your own inner voice, which is really will become so chronic that people don't understand, and they're feeling like they've been, you know, growing apart from this person. It's because you've really been kind of growing apart from yourself also. You've been, you know, in neglect or sort of denial of what you truly need. You know, you've been sucking it up for too much. You've been living as supply for too long. You've been living as a codependent and living to support and, you know, be a part of others versus really kind of owning your own, being your own person, and claiming that empowerment, that identity, that positive self-assessment, which becomes autonomous, independent, and, you know, really is not a fear-based living style. And so really stop, you know, take command over your emotional reaction and your observation. Begin to see and question yourself, how am I reacting, or how am I being baited? How am I perhaps lunging at the bait, which is just going to keep me caught up and hooked by this person, versus being able to be free and, you know, freely me and doing my thing. In other words, you know, you don't have to live in fear that you're going to be pulled out of your element, or, you know, fear of this negative assessment, retribution, judgment, all these sort of things that they will use to control and try to take command over you. And then furthermore, once they bait you, they'll get you to think according to very pathological sort of thought patterns, which are not healthy, not natural, and can often be very terrorizing to become involved in. I'm just reviewing some comments here that I wanted to make forth as comments here, and realize when you're being baited and have the power to say no. Zip the lip, put the hands in the pockets, you know, take a walk, do whatever it is you've got to do. Say no, and don't be baited by the conflict consciousness and the lure to attraction and addiction that oftentimes is very much part of the foundation of a malignant narcissist or a psychopathic behavior and relationship dynamic. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.